All right, welcome back. Hello, everybody. This is Judas ASMR. We are back with another video, and we are going to continue from where we left off. We were making this lovely lady a drink. It had blue pea as the base, a lot of mint, and a splash of lemon. Galaxy mint tea. That looks yummy. Here you go, miss. From the man sitting right beside you. It looks nice. Very pretty. I like it. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you do. And wow, Charles, looks exactly like what I envisioned. You're a G. I'm happy you both enjoyed it. But man, that whole case earlier though, it was a lot to take in. Also, about the whole forgetting thing. That really gave me chills. Why? Ugh. Don't you feel scared of just disappearing in the end? 'Cause I do. That's why I thought I finally understood you too. I mean, the reason why you want to become a soprano your way, the traditional way. Oh, care to compare notes? Because I've yet to be entirely certain about that myself. Oh, now that's what you call a huge pressure. Before that though, can I ask a teeny tiny question? Go ahead. What inspired you to go down this path? I mean, I may have an idea on why you're choosing the hard way, but why a soprano in the first place? Because it's been done before. Pardon? Because there was already a banshee who did it before. So I know it's not impossible. Whoa, for real? Her part was that of a sorbet aria, and she was not very well known. What is her sorbet or aria? Or I can't even pronounce it. What in the heck is that? Oh, I mean, she was a secondary character. Back in early 19th century opera, sorbet arias would be sung towards the end of the second act, usually before the evening ended. Hawkers would use time to offer their wares for the last time to the patrons, often desserts. Hence, sorbet aria. Oh, I see. Like background singing at the end of a show or something? Yes. Things are different nowadays because people are expected to listen to the end. The first time I heard her voice was on an old recording of a comedy opera. I was still very young back then. She was playing a confused maid role at the very end of the opera, wondering why and how people could act so crazy when in love. But despite her confusion, she thought she wasn't so old that she couldn't find out the reason herself. It was a funny epilogue to the opera, but hearing a banshee sing such a playful and lighthearted piece, it was truly an eye-opener for me. Oh man, I bet it was. Sadly, I couldn't find any of her older works, but it always stuck with me nonetheless. So I left my commune and started trying on my own. That's really cool and brave of you to do so. I agree. I have never talked about this before. It's a bit embarrassing. Nah, don't be embarrassed. I think it's super cool. You're just feeling inspired to push yourself beyond what's expected of you and wishing to leave a mark on this world. Is that what you think? Uh-huh. You're just trying to follow the path that has been traveled before. And that's not always a bad thing, especially for beings like us. It's just being careful, yet courageous. Right, because the path you're choosing to walk on is still difficult. Regarding leaving your mark, I don't know. I just feel maybe you're the same as me. Like, what's the point of being born if nobody's going to remember? Big yawn, sorry about that, guys. What's the point of being born if nobody's going to remember us? Right, Charles? No comment. Why do you want to be remembered so much? Why wouldn't you? Us banshees see the end differently than most. So, care to enlighten me? I can't speak for anyone else, but in my case, I was a kid who grew up in a large family, you see. Like, humongously large. Literally couldn't count all my siblings even if I wanted to. Because they're everywhere, thanks to my dad. Oh, we weren't wealthy though, not even close. The money situation was always suffocating us for real. But sometimes Dad would drop by to give us some money. Thought it wasn't even enough to cover utilities for more than a couple months. Then he'd just leave again a couple days later. Are you the eldest? Nope. But my older bros had already moved out by the time I hit high school. I was so surprised when my dad gave me the house after he died. Oh, which is where my mom and siblings live now. I'm sorry to hear about your father. No, it's fine. Anyway, so my older brothers came back, right? They wanted me to sell the house and divide the earnings. Wanting a slice of the inheritance pie, huh? You didn't do that, right? Heck no. That's why I left for LA. So if they really want me to sell the house, they have to come chase after me. Good call. Thankfully, my younger siblings and I are pretty tight. We're a good team. That's a relief. But that was the only why I needed money. That was also why I needed money fast. I need to send money to help my family's bills. And of course, so I could stay alive as well. That was why I ended up having to join the production house. The production house? Yeah, it was like a bunch of content creators getting together to make videos every day. I was young and naive too, you know, because it was my first time venturing to another state completely alone after all. So I didn't know better, how predatory things could be. Man, that's even going to be an entertaining story. If you're uncomfortable, you don't have to talk about it. No, it's not that. I just really didn't like that production house. But I need the money. Someone there saw my vlogs and invited me in. And as one of the youngest there, I tried to get along with everyone. But you see, we're all creators in the entertainment industry, right? Which means we all had huge egos. I don't know why I said that word weird. Huge egos. So naturally, there was somewhat of a hierarchy of sorts. Trying to be all around helpful turned me into the butt of the joke all the time. That didn't discourage me all that much, by the way. I mean, I also learned a lot there, not gonna lie. Still. Well, long story short, being tokenized sucked. The end. No disagreement there. Sorry, I swear that wasn't what I wanted to talk to you about. It's fine. I actually learned a lot this evening. I just don't want to take up more of your time. So can I just ask you a direct question? Sure. Great. Would you be interested in guest starring on my new show? I realized I was being dumb the day we first met. I kind of forced my thoughts on you. It was just being a general smartass. I undermined your straightforward efforts because I was jealous of your solid resolve. Since everything I did was anything but. But you succeeded eventually, didn't you? And you worked hard for it. Yet I almost ended up losing sight of why I'd been doing all this in the first place. I went with the flow, made excuses a lot, all to justify the gain, but to what end? That's why I've been trying to put together a talent showcase for those who need extra exposure. It's going to be a small production thing. It'll be paid, I swear. And not with exposure either. Though it won't be much at first. Because I don't have that much money ready to use at the moment, so... wait. This is a bit sudden, don't you think? No pressure, though. How does the show work? Well, I'm not 100% sure of the shape of it yet. But ideally, we'll have like an interview at the first, and then I'll record your singing. I'll bring all the gear. I will also be doing all the editing and stuff. It's going to take a bit of time still. Let me start over that. It's going to take a bit of time since I still have my main show to do. But I did start my vlogging journey on my own too. So I can bet you the result will still be quality. Your show will tank if I'm the first guest. You realize that, right? If it does, then it doesn't deserve to exist. I don't care about haters, but you do. That's why I won't push you. Ah, I'm flattered. But no thank you. Okay. Thanks for considering me though. Thanks for giving it a thought. Sigh. Who says sigh? Looks like I have to go. Okay. It's nothing to do with you said, okay? Just bad timing. Yes, I get it. Cool. Hope we can meet again like this. If you want to. Maybe. I'll take it. Thanks for the time too, Charles. Sorry if I bored you, eh? No, truly, it was my pleasure. Cool. Okay. I really have to go. See you around. Safe trip. Alrighty, see you, Charles. Come again soon. I think tonight was the most I've talked in the past 2 years. And I'm quite glad to hear that. Thank you, Charles. For what? For being such a good host. I know I'm not the easiest being to get along with. It's always a pleasure to have you and everyone around. Then I'll be taking my leave. I feel like I have a lot to rethink. But I'll see you again soon. And we'll be waiting, always. Safe trip, Miss Rihanna. And have a good night. Phew. I think I'm done for the night. Hope everything will work out for everyone. Alright, everyone. Well, that was coffee talk. That was that full day. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I did record all of the days back to back in one recording session. And I decided to try it this way. One, so I can get, because I'm going to break it down into 3 separate videos. And then this way I can also get more memory of things that happened. So at the end of the day, of like the in-game day, I can kind of talk about everything, right? And my kind of final thoughts. So that was a really cool episode. Or not episode, sorry, day. That was a really cool day because I think you got a little bit of a lot of different things, right? So you started off with the werewolf, the big burly guy. I think his name is Gala, if I remember correctly. Him coming in. He has a best friend, the vampire. You guys haven't met the vampire yet. But yeah, his best friend is the vampire, and they have been friends for a very long time. I'm sure you'll probably see some of that storyline in one of the other days here soon. But him coming in expecting to see his best friend, but he wasn't able to make it because his car is not the best ever. You know, it is what it is. There's like a whole little day about that when he kind of talked about that. And then the thing that really interested me is this really cool like murder mystery. Not murder mystery, but they kind of phrase it in a way of like a traditional like murder mystery of like, okay, someone's destroying all the tires. And it's interesting because that was just a random small thing that popped up in one of the other days. And I didn't really think much of it, like, okay, people are vandalizing. But then you get this whole backstory. If you've watched the last 2 to 3 episodes, of like all these cool things that are happening with like, okay, well, there's this like tree, and apparently the tree is actually like a body, but it was never reported because people didn't know that it was a body. And like the ghosts of this tree are like slashing tires. Like there's so much there that was just so cool to learn. Something that would only be possible in like a universe where, you know, vampires and sirens and succubus and elves and everything you can imagine, orcs. It would only exist in this world. And it kind of has that Zootopia type of feel to it, where you just take something and you make it normal, right? So like Zootopia, they took animals and they made them normal. Like they showed you what life would be like if it was normal for anamorphized animals, like to run the city, right? That can talk. I think this is kind of doing that same type of thing, where it's taking all these fantasy creatures and things and just being like, what if these were just normal people that just existed in the world? You get really cool stories like what we got. And between I'm not really sure what to call him. He has horns, but I don't know like what his like race is. And the siren. So in the previous episode, they were kind of having some butting heads, but not on purpose. The streamer, like what is the word? The influencer guy just like said something stupid, not thinking, and it really hurt the feelings of the siren, because the siren is trying to follow her dreams of being a singer in like opera, which is obviously very what is the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue. Controversial, because she's a siren, and she talked about it as if like in this universe, a siren singing is not really enjoyed or really liked very much. But that's what she wants. That's the goal that she wants to get to. And so her and the guy with the horns, they kind of make up, and they have their whole little situation going on of them trying to decide like, okay, what do we want to do? Like, let's make up, let's decide if we want to do like this channel. She ends up declining, but I'm very curious. I think in a different day later, a few days later, she may come back and decide to do it. That's what I'm thinking right now. So yeah, did these a little bit differently than usual. I hope to keep tweaking this format. Maybe it would be better to talk about, like to do like a recap at the end of each episode instead of doing like one at the end of each day, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. We're just having a good time and playing some cool games together. So that was Coffee Talk for that day. Can't wait to get back in and get to that next day. So thank you all for joining. It has been lovely. See ya.